Hey, welcome to Game Face Monday. Lee Wolf with White Dove Bird, back with Richie Bello as always. And today we have a few special guests with us today. We have Amy Schwabenlender and Joseph Lasada with Keys to Change, and Carl Jafrida with Lumica Capital. And before we get into the show, though, I actually just want to show a quick video from our sponsor, Shop Smart Autos, of our VIN retention report.
So we all know it's commonplace in the auto industry that customers will come and then they go. But why? Was it a better price? Did they go with a different make? Is it a sales training issue? Maybe it's a marketing problem. And if you knew why, could you take back a portion of that business? First things first, you need data. And Shop Smart Autos for dealers has your solution, the VIN Retention Report. Our VIN Retention Report can give you the inside scoop on VINs you held onto and the VINs you lost. But that's not all. What if you could know where the customers and your VINs ended up? For example, if Mrs. Smith purchased a vehicle from you 2 years ago and traded that vehicle in a mile away for the same make but a newer model, why didn't she come back to you? Now with that data, you can reach out. You can target her with a service deal that brings her back into your dealership and gives her the stellar experience she's looking for, while potentially flipping her back to your sales floor for a deal she never knew she could get. That's just one way our VIN Retention Report can help. So take 15 minutes with us today, and we'll show you how the power of data can increase your ROI with the Shop Smart Autos for Dealers VIN Retention Report. Set up your appointment today.
All right, so that was our VIN retention report. Any dealership or marketing agency, if you want to know how dealerships are performing, what VINs they kept, what VINs they lost, and where the ended up, that's the most powerful tool out there. I can't imagine anyone not wanting to have access to it. So welcome, everyone. How's everyone doing today?
Doing great.
Good? All right, awesome. So the Human Services Campus of Phoenix sounds like a pretty serious role model that everyone could be looking uh, to be able to help people in need throughout all the communities in America. And specifically, it sounds like we're talking about housing for homeless, housing for veterans. And me, people want to start with you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your back? You were with United Way at one point, right?
Yes, I was at the local United Way Valley of the Sun United Way for 13 years in the Community Impact Department. So working with many of the partners that are here on our campus in downtown Phoenix, and made the transition to this role almost 6 years ago, 6 years in August, to lead the work here at the campus. We are in the middle of a name change, so we're Human Services Campus, doing business is Keys to Change, and the campus is the Key Campus. So not to further confuse things, but
Yeah, the rebrand. That's always fun.
yes.
All right, and what about a little bit about Human Services Campus, which is transitioning to Keys
Yeah.
Change? Tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind the beginnings and where they're at today.
Well, before there was a campus, and for those familiar with Phoenix, we're at 12th Avenue in Madison, between the state capitol and Phoenix City Hall and the seat of the county government. Before there was a campus, there were a few service providers offering meals to people experiencing homelessness. There was a shelter. The building that Joe and I are sitting in was the Healthcare for the Homeless Clinic. And community members had this idea that if they co-located more services at one place, it would make it easier for people to access all the things that they need to end their homelessness. And this was 2004. This was before there was light rail in Phoenix, a lot less public transportation. And so when people needed to get to services, it could take them an entire day to maybe apply for state benefits and then get back for a shelter bed. So the campus opened in November of 2005. There are 15 partner organizations here, everyone focused on, as you said, housing. And we know housing ends homelessness. Housing is healthcare. People don't choose to be homeless. So how do we offer them the services that they need and create a path to housing that will work for every individual where they're at. And really, it's about identifying what are their barriers to housing stability. Everything from if they need a replacement ID and if they need a replacement birth certificate to job services, those state benefits, healthcare, dental care. Um, I know I'm forgetting something, but it's beyond shelter and meals. It's the other services that help people stabilize and understand how do they go from homeless to housing.
Okay. And how many people, ballpark, I'm sure you don't have an exact number, but how many people would you think have been placed?
In housing ever, yeah. Last year was about 4,000 people. We
Wow.
helped move into housing, and that's out of about 13,000 individuals. So what we find is some folks come to us and they need a shelter for a few nights, or people come to us and we help them with what we call a diversion, which is a way to reunify people with friends, family, a support network. It's often a bus ticket or it's some form of transportation to help someone quickly get reconnected with a support system so they don't have to be homeless and accessing shelter. And so there's always a group of people that we incorrectly or correctly label self-resolvers, meaning that they need very little service, they need very little time with us, and they're quickly on their way to housing. And then at the other end, we have people that meet a definition of chronic homelessness. They have repeated episodes of homelessness or long periods, and they have a disability. And those folks might need those services for longer. They may be in shelter over a variety of different time periods. What we focus on, though, on is meeting each person where they're at and being the ones that keep engaging them in services so that services become incumbent on us as the providers to figure out for each person how to help them find housing. Even if the person themselves isn't thinking every day about their to-do lists and what they have to do next, it becomes incumbent upon us to be that person that keeps reminding them and keeps them on track to housing.
Awesome. Awesome. And Joe, your focus is more on the financial aspect. Is that correct?
Yes, and so I'm the chief financial officer here at Keys to Change, and I'd like to thank Reggie and Lee for having us. So I've been here since July of 2023, so a little short of a year. I'm the chief financial officer, oversee the accounting functions and the financial reporting to management and to the board. I'm also work with external partners to provide kind of capital and funding to the organization to meet our day-to-day needs, as well as maybe do some strategic planning to help bring certain things to vision here over the next 3 to 5 years, especially in the area of affordable housing. So that's kind of my role here, and I've enjoyed it so far, and looking forward to making some big things happen here.
Yeah. So from what I see, government funding seems to be cutting back quite a bit for those in need in the country. If you were to speak to those out there about, besides the fact that helping people, that should be in your heart, that should be what you want to do is help people, but also from a benefit standpoint, I'm assuming like businesses out there, if they were to donate, that there would be some kind of positive tax situation for them as well, right?
Yeah, and I can't speak to that. That's something that obviously they would need to speak to their tax professionals on. But businesses that give contributions that eventually flows through to their bottom line, and those types of expenses typically are deductible for tax purposes. Individuals who and other, that's depending on the I guess the nature of the business, that may affect more of their personal income tax returns. So that, again, that's something that they would have to speak to their tax advisor on. But
Yeah.
Most people who give to larger capacities typically do it for the tax benefit.
Okay. Absolutely. Yeah, and definitely you'd want to talk to your tax advisor. I'm not looking to have you make any give any advice to anyone out there. But all right, yeah. And so Carl, what are your thoughts on all of this and how Lumica can help the situation and where you have with not-for-profits?
Well, it's as I've mentioned on the show before, Lumica Capital is a full spectrum commercial real estate and business finance firm that doesn't exclude nonprofits as well to provide financing and different loan programs for them. So I think it's a win-win for everybody, to have, the feel, it's a feel-good transaction to be a part of. So you have, HSC, Keys of Change, doing housing, all these good stuff. So it enables us to be able to be a part of that community outreach and support, as well as, bringing some good publicity and branding to our side on the business end. So it's a win-win to be able to provide financing for these nonprofits, so it's a seamless operation. So they're waiting for government contracts for funding to come in. We're able to step in and to fill that gap with the necessary financing that they need to continue to do the good things that they're doing for the community.
Awesome. Yeah, and Richie, you have quite a bit of experience specifically with our veterans, right? You're on mute.
What I like about this opportunity is, first of all, it's a great solution, right? And it's also a great solution in the automotive sector with the homeless and all that. There's so many people that have families and get jammed up even in the automotive sector. And this is a great solution for that. The other great solution is Joe is a vet. It's been in my life for a decade, right? And he originally started with me with the nonprofit that I have in Phoenix and did a lot of work for. So he reached out to me about this opportunity. And as I put Carl and him, and I'm getting a real scope on it because I do have meetings almost every week with Carl back and forth. So now I understand you have property, right? So the nonprofit here has a lot of properties that big money, right? That's one aspect. The other aspect, well, okay, so they have property. So what solution could they bring into the community? Okay, so they got so much solutions to bring into the community that it's great. And companies like General Motors, Ford, they all have nonprofits that they do donations for, and in that sector there's a thing. But there's also in the medical field also they have donations too, because when people make money they want to donate more, right? The more you make, the more you want to donate. So I've reached out to certain organizations and all that. So the donations there is really, really good. So I have here raise more funds with less effort, Lumica Capital, right? Well, Lumica Capital and the marketing perspective, because a nonprofit can get these grants from Google, which is done. So we can really, really scale this company that has a tremendous solution for the last 25 years. Is that correct? You've been in business for 25 years?
Yes.
Okay, so 25 years. And is that also correct? The founder is no longer with us. May he rest in peace because of COVID.
The campus, the campus is about 20 years of operation. Mike McQuaid was one of the founders, a servant leader who, personally spent so much of his time here, got to know clients and employees, and he passed away from COVID in July of 2020. So we still sometimes are reeling from the loss of him and his vision and his leadership.
So the solutions that is on there, as one of the founders passed and all his property is now. So now we got to get what's going on today. How do people find people today? Well, there's a directory that's number one. It's called Google. right? And because of the nonprofit, you get the Google grants, right? So now we can really get this product line out there to the audience. Now, I want my audience to really pay attention to this. Marketers and automotive people, just hear me out a minute. Listen to this great opportunity that there is. I'm going to do a Facebook ad on this live show. Why? Because it brings so many opportunity to people that have it all and lose it all. Okay, so that's what's important, because you could be on the take up and you can be on the take down, because that's just the way life is, right? You're in the upscale and in the downscale, and now this could help us with our audience, help the people that have problems. Like, I'm going to say a little story. Not too long ago, a good friend of mine that was making serious money does a GoFund page, gets cancer. Well, he had to raise $100,000 just to do it. He did 80,000. Right now, he lost his house. Okay, that was almost paid for. Why? Because he got in a really bad need. Had cancer, had a little bit of problems with insurance, was working on his own. He was a wholesaler. He would buy and sell cars. Only 58 years old. He was just an earner, but didn't look at tomorrow as far as insurance and all that. So now he's going to be homeless soon. Okay, and he lives in New York, and that can happen to anybody. So, even people that do work for somebody, that can happen, because you run out of insurance with a disease like cancer, God forbid, right? So this is a great solution, and I've been back and forth on the phone with a lot of people that are interested in this type of product. And what Carl's very good, and Carl and I got a team of people that work with Carl that are really good getting nonprofits funded, and we're really good in getting them to the next level. It's called growing pains, right? We all have growing pains. And you as a CEO, Amy, and that's great about you, because I was so impressed with your resume when I found out you were with United Way. You understand about that very clearly and very good.
Thank you.
And Amy or Joe, if individuals or businesses want to get involved, what's the most direct way they should tap in?
The most direct way is through our website, which is still the HSC branding, hsc-az.org. I'm happy to share email address, telephone number. I think we have a really strong team, a development team that's ready to take phone calls, reply to emails. If people are in Phoenix, we love to give people tours and show them what happens at the campus. The volunteer opportunities for people who are local in Arizona. And I think, Richie, as you're talking about, we've had conversations about how could we take this model to other communities across the country, because this co-location of services really does make it more efficient for people to get connected while they're unhoused and create that focus for their path to housing. So anyone who's not in Arizona and wants to have a conversation about the service model, we also love to have those conversations.
Great. Well, Jennifer Hamilton would I want her to talk to you when I get over there, only because she's in real estate and she's got a talk show, really good talk show. And one of the things that she started with me a decade was not the nonprofit. Her father was in World War II, so she's always helping the vets with homes and homes for vets and all this stuff. So she's a pretty good person out there like that. And she's more or less in that same field that you're in. And we've been to Washington a few times with her. So I want to make that introduction, because this is a model that me and her have talked about it. She might be interested in doing this.
Sure.
Okay, great.
So if I would have to give you, let's say I want to donate to your company, XYZ. So, and I want to ask you, Amy, I want to donate to your company. If you will give me an elevator pitch, right? Let's say 5 things, right? And you don't have to tell me today, but if I were to put you with somebody that wants to, let's say I'm an investor, but I want to donate, not just an investor. I want to donate my money because I believe in the product. What would be 5 of the key words that would be interesting that I would give you money? What do you think that would be?
Mm. You want me to answer now, or you don't want me to answer now?
Three to five. 3 to 5.
No, it's something to think about. Like something to think
Yeah,
about.
yeah, I got a lot of words, but I mean, I think the first thing that comes to mind are solutions, and
Correct.
that we have positive outcomes for the people we serve. We're client centered. We do whatever it takes to help people end their homelessness.
From what I know about the organization, Richie Bello's going to give 5 elevated pitches. Okay.
Mhm.
Protect your people that work for you. Become bulletproof. When everything fails, if they do ever become homeless, we have a solution, right? What business owner or what OEM factory or what marketing guy is not going to want to do that, right? Based on a donation, okay? That's the first thing I see. Is a home important? I mean, it's a mindset. It's the well-being. That's the second one, right? Been in business for 20 plus years. Okay, we have so much assets, right? I don't want to say here what the assets is, but we have so much assets. Shh, don't say it. We have so much assets here. Why wouldn't you donate to us? Number 3. Term. How long have I been in business? 20 plus years. Okay. 4. What did the founder do and how did he create this? And what is the mission that he still wants us to do? Number 5. So a very successful nonprofit, guys. Hear me out, guys. A very successful nonprofit with a lot of assets. Okay. So let's get on the phone with Richie Bello to wrap this up. Okay. Hear me out, guys. Tremendous nonprofit. Kudos to Amy, to Joe, to Lee, and Carl for putting this together. Great company. We need to donate. We need to help them. In the next few weeks, when I come back from Arizona, Rich is going to have a lot of live podcasts about this and keep bringing in different people. Let's go. Because this is very impressive. I've been working with them for 4 months now, you think, Carl? Maybe 4 or 5 months?
Yeah, about that.
And we got them approved, but we got to get them donations consistently every year. You guys are making too much money. What do you want to do? You want to keep paying taxes and all this, or donate a company that has tremendous track record and has assets. Why wouldn't you? That's all I got to say.
All right. Amy and Joe, do you have anything else to add at the moment before we wrap up? Carl, you good?
Yeah, no, it's an exciting thing to be a part of. You know, as Richie just mentioned, and that was a great elevator pitches, Richie. Very motivating. You know, we've been working with Keys of Change HSC for a few months now, and they're a great organization. They got a lot of things going for them. Amy and Joe are great at what they do. And so and they're doing great things for the community. So I'm just excited to be a part of it. That Lumica is there to be able to bring in the financing and meet those capital solutions that they have. And also support bringing in donations from our third party, correspondent lenders as well.
And as far as that, the hedge fund community, I'm reaching out to you for donations. Why? Because we do a lot with you, with Carl, with Mr. Onhai, with different people. I bring a lot to the hedge fund community. Reach out. I'm going to do a video with Amy and Joe, not live, a video to reach out to the hedge fund community, to have every hedge fund email and text, okay? So this is very important. A couple of communities, the hedge fund world, also the automotive sector, and Carl's got them wrapped up with this, so that's going to be great. We just want to get out and get more and more and more so we grow more. And there's a track record, 20 years, so much asset, okay? In real estate, listen, this is a game changer, guys, a game changer. Not a startup, tremendous amount of assets. Thank you for the opportunity, Amy. Thank you, Joe, for the introduction. Thank you again, like always. Carl, I just want to wrap this up concrete where they're bulletproof so we can really grow the company to XYZ. Okay?
Let's go.
All right. Amy and Joe, keys to change. Thank you very much for being here today. And Joe, thank you for your service to our country. And
Thanks.
yeah, and Mr. Jafrida, thank you for being here again with us, Lumica Capital.
Pleasure. Thank you for
And
having me.
Richie, thanks for letting me sit next to you and virtually and doing another great show.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you guys in Phoenix soon. Okay?
Sounds good.
Okay,
Take
thanks.
care, everyone.